Okay, so another hot day in the neighborhood, and I want to just have a brief conversation. Brief conversation, okay? When it comes to the spiritual shift that has occurred and people noticing a difference in how people behave, understand that whether you believe in these things like a spiritual shift or not, they do happen. And they are going to happen, and you're going to see results of them happening, no matter where you stand. So just because you don't believe that after the eclipse there was a shift in the energy of the earth, doesn't mean that it didn't happen. So some of you have been noticing shifts in people around you and shifts in yourself. Whew, Lordy. And you don't know what to do or how to deal with it, right? This is why I think it's time for people to work on the inner standing, right? This is where you have to go within and understand what is going on inside of you, right? So that's what's called inner standing. And people say, well, how do I do that? First thing you have to actively do is to journal. You have to start writing down what is happening, what you are noticing, what attitudes you're picking up on. There's people whose spiritual gifts were activated that were after their gifts have been dormant for a long time. What are the gifts? How are they showing up? Are you outside in nature when you notice something, or are you now having the ability to foresee things, or are you noticing people behaviors and being able to predict their movements? What is it that's happening with you at this particular point? Most of the people who reach out to me are reaching out to me because of someone else, and they're like, this person has changed, this person is different. And okay, true, that person may have changed because we change each day, and that person may be different. One moment as I take a sip of my tea. But the real question is, how have you changed and how are you different? Because sometimes that person can be the same, but because you are different, you perceive their behavior and their actions differently. So it's not even them necessarily that's the issue, it is you. And I have people who are like, oh, I want to remove myself from this situation. And I say, before you do all of those extra things, the first step is to get control of you and what's going on with you, and make sure that you haven't changed so much. You can start by asking people around you, do I seem different to you? Have you noticed anything different about me? Just to see what their feedback is, right? And some people might tell you, you're a little bit more touchy than normal, right? So you can start to pinpoint, is it you or if it's somebody else? And that's the first thing that has to be done. I mean, too many times people are like, this person's crazy. No, they aren't. They are who they have always been. You're different. So you see them differently. Okay? And that's part of a transition as you're going through the different stages within the 5 elements. And if you notice that you're more sensitive to stress or distress, meaning situations that are not harmonious, ask yourself why. Often what I see people do who are in relationships is they think the relationship is a problem and they jump out of that relationship and go to another relationship. That's not the answer. That's not the solution. That is not going to fix things. Eventually, if you keep changing enough, that new relationship is going to show signs of toxicity as well. So my thing that I want to really impress upon you guys as you navigate this spiritual shift. And we're talking, this is going to be another 8 years of this navigation. This isn't like going to be over with in the next couple of weeks. So as you navigate it, as you go forward, I need for you to understand that you have to understand yourself, okay? You have to do the work on you and make sure you know what's going on within you before you start shifting blame onto the other person. And before you start dumping one person and just picking up another person, then dumping that person and picking up another person, just collecting bodies, because that's all you're going to be doing is collecting bodies, right? The other thing that's happening during this shift is there's been a shift in wealth. There's been a shift in prosperity. So you're seeing a lot of people who are struggling financially, who were not struggling financially before. And you're also seeing a lot of people who are having shifts in consciousness around money and what is important with money. And it's like rapid, right? So you're seeing a lot of that kind of stuff happen. Some people who can't handle that shift in prosperity, and they don't understand why that tower moment is happening in their life. And that tower moment is happening because money was your God, right? Money was your focus. Money is a tool. It is very important. We need it. It is an energy currency, but it is not everything. And if you utilize money for your benefit and your soul benefit, and utilize money to hold it over people and control others, you're going to see that right now, this next whole 8 years, all that's going to change. There's going to be shifts in that. There's going to be people losing money who were powerful because of the money, or they thought they were powerful because of the money. And this is because these people who have this experience need to find out who they really are and what is truly important in life. And if they do that, they can have money and actually have it in a way to where the money is a tool and the money is not, really taking over their life, taking over their existence. Everyone who lives needs the currency of money in order to live. Even if you live off grid, at some point you need that currency of money to initially even get started in growing your own foods. You need that currency. You need that energy exchange. You don't need to use it as I'm in control of you because I make the money and I tell you what to do. And there are a lot of systems in place throughout the world where that is how it is. They have the money, so they're in control, and those people are going to crumble. Now, when I say this, some people will miss this message because they will look at this video and they would think I'm only talking about corporations. But that same energy that exists at the highest level exists on lower levels. People who are poor still hold that same I make the money, I'm in charge mentality. So you'll have a person in the household making, let's say, $20,000 a year, living with someone who makes, let's say, $5,000 a year, and they're still holding that same I make the money, I'm in control, I'm in power. See, those relationships are shifting, right? Because money is not the thing, and money is not evil by any stretch. It is the love of money that is causing the problems, okay? So that's the other shift. That's why you're seeing people go through the financial struggles that you're seeing people go through. Okay. Now, another thing that is happening is the karmic. Let's say this is karmic reparation. So the karmic energy coming back to people quickly, because it used to be, when the world was on a different energy vibe, people were doing things and you were like, man, nothing ever happens, and then you see, oh wait, something happened to them. Oh, karma got them, but karma was real slow. That's what people would say. Karma was real slow. You might see, for example, that you're trying to accomplish something, and then you do something that's not exactly right. You put some energy out there that's not exactly right, and that energy bounces back to you quickly. And you're like, wait a minute, why? I don't understand. Because that karmic cycle has sped up. So people are getting their karma quickly. That's why it's so important for you, as whomever's watching this, to focus on not creating karmic debts, not doing things that are going to make it to where you owe the universal energy source. Because right now, it will come back and it will hit you when you don't want it to hit you. And you will be finding yourself starting over in your projects. You'll be making progress, and then when that karma hits you, it'll be wiped out, and you'll be at the, sometimes before you were, like you might be at ground zero. No, you're below zero. You're in the ground, right? So that is important, and you have to be careful now. This is a careful era, a careful season. And again, you got at least 8 more years of this type of seasoning. Sorry, I'm at the, I'm on the trail, so there's people passing by, so I have to be aware of my surroundings. So, and when I come on the trail, of course, in nature, more and more things come to me that I need to say to you guys. Whew. Need this tea. So anyway, we are in a huge energy shift, and make sure that you know, are you the person who's shifting, or is it someone else? There's a money cycle shakeup that's going on. Make sure that you aren't holding money as your master. And then there is this karmic repayment system that is going on super, super, super fast. Don't get caught up in it. All right? Now, for those of you who do know, I was posting about the manifestation of money. And people are like, well, you just said don't make money your God. Remember, money is a tool. So you need money to do things, right? I need money so that I can afford to have the life to where I can work with the clients that I have to work with to help them in their spiritual quest. Without money, I can't do that, right? Without money, I can't help others, right? So let's remember that we use money appropriately. You should get money for things, but don't let the money turn you into something that's horrible to the overall collective, right? Let's not let it turn you into a monster. All right, that's it. Ooh, people. Yeah, it was some sweating going on today. All right, y'all have a great day. Bye.